Ravin, India is the world's youngest startup nation. We've got more than 70% of the founders under the age of 35. And for the millennials, workspaces are needed in order to enhance creativity, contribute to collaboration, as well as networking, and offer flexibility and adapt to the latest technologies while still being affordable. In fact, one such workspace that has made its mark in Mumbai, BKC, is Dextrus. Let's connect then with founder Robin Chhabra, who's now joining in, and also coincidentally helped to co-design the co-working space with architect Nishal Shah. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Good to have you on board, Robin. Now, you started off with an initial investment of ₹1 crore that was partly from your savings and that had partly been raised from some of your family members. And I understand that you managed to achieve something like 90% occupancy in less than a year's time. How did you pull off this feat?
Thanks for having me on the show, Avan. I think credit for the full occupancy goes to having an overall good quality of product here at Dextrus. We focused a lot in the initial stages on the design of the space, things like privacy, the type of communal spaces, and the overall effect that we wanted to have was a very crucial part of the design. We were very interested in creating a spatial experience that people enjoy and really love coming to work every day for. I think in addition to that, we focused a lot on service. We want our clients to be happy, to be comfortable. For that, we want to go above and beyond for those needs as well. So the spatial experience and the overall service quality, I think, is two very important factors for our delivery of the product.
So let's talk numbers. There are significant operational costs being a co-working space. It's a cash guzzling business for sure. So how much is your burn run rate on average, and how are you dealing with the differential pricing as well?
We have a range of products that we offer, from a day pass to private meeting rooms to even private offices of different sizes. I think the needs of the client are changing. They need more flexible spaces. Tomorrow you might need a day desk, and the day after you might need a meeting room, whether it's for a brainstorming session or perhaps for your entire team as a workshop. And then in addition to that, on the third day, you might not need an office space at all. So I think that world of work that's changing is demanding a sense of flexibility along with good service. And I think providing that does involve an operational cost, as you rightly asked. But so far we are doing it with a sense of financial discipline. And luckily our clients are subscribing to our services, and we're able to manage our cash flows sustainably.
Robin, it is becoming a fairly crowded space now. You've got a lot of competition. There's global players, of course, like WeWork and Coworks. They're aggressively pushing in the India market. There's plenty of other players as well, national and local. You have the likes of Office 91 Springboard, etc. Or your Rooms as well is now looking to enter. So what is the differentiating factor for Dextrus?
So Van, when you think about it, 2/3 of the waking day is spent at your workplace. And as a result, design focus is an important facet of our business. And we try to bring in a lot of architectural design thinking and human-centered design thinking to the office space. Because we believe that if the office space is a well-designed one, then people's effective working habits are only going to get better. So we bring in good infrastructure and good service. And luckily that's resonating with our clientele. And we're seeing more and more professionals and professional companies take up our space. And they seem to find resonance in that ethos of ours, which has been a very interesting learning curve, and that's also helped us curate and make our experience better. And what we strive for is very simple. It's a good product, which means good design, good space, and good service at a value price.
So what is the view then, Robin, when it comes to co-working spaces as a whole? It's at the cusp of a co-working revolution as well in India. You've seen domestic and global players as well really pushing into the India market. But do you think to a certain extent we've reached a peak?
That's a good question, Avan. I think we haven't reached there yet. If you just look at Mumbai alone, we are looking at an addressable market of close to 1.25 million desks. And even given the competition, we are nowhere close to that. We're still a long way away. I think there are a number of reasons why co-working is still far away from where it's going to get. and the evolution is going to be interesting to watch. But I think primarily there are two main reasons why it's going to be going forward and not backwards. One is that co-working provides a great sense of flexibility to the user, and more companies are seeing that, and they're also evolving and changing their policies. Some of them even change their policies to be able to sit out of a co-working space. And I think that itself is questioning the addressable market, because it's that 1.25 million number that I earlier spoke of. It might be even larger because more and more companies are looking at it sort of positively. I think the second reason is that convenience factor. Co-working spaces offer addressing the issue of what our cities are going through. I think cities are getting more dense. They're getting tougher to travel through. People need more and more space to get to a little bit quicker. You lose a lot of time in traffic. And there are numerous CBDs springing across Mumbai, for example, or even New Delhi if you look at. And co-working spaces sort of fit into those micro markets and are able to tap into that demand. And not only if you look at the city itself, across cities, because you can have a space that you can go to work to easily, and perhaps your second team is sitting out of New Delhi and working out of there as well. It's easy to communicate, it's easy to get new business, and much faster.
Have you had any fundraising rounds so far? Are you in talks with any investors?
We're a young company currently. We're trying to manage things with strong financial discipline. I think the differentiated product that we have has irked interest, and there are proposals coming in that we're constantly evaluating. I think if we do go down that route, it would strongly depend on the synergies and thinking about where we want to do with our future growth plan.
So how many companies is it that you're currently housing at the moment, and what is the growth plan for the company? Are you looking to even penetrate into smaller towns? Because as you were saying, there is a lot of potential.
So currently we have a great mix of industries that use our space. They range from real estate to beauty to banking to even large conglomerates. And I think even they span geographies, and that gives us a good global community right here. I think in terms of expansion, we're fairly careful. We are looking at the second Dextrus that will be launched soon. But for us, a lot of R&D goes into the expansion process. We look very carefully at the type of building, how well it's maintained, the reputation of the landlord, even how much sunlight the space gets, because those things apply to our design decisions and as well as our operational decisions, because we're looking at it from a very long-term perspective, long-run perspective. I think when it comes to the small towns, I think if those boxes are checked and we can find a space that works, we'd love to look at those opportunities as well and spread the word of Dextrus around.
So we wish you all the best in your growth plans, combining design aesthetic with the co-working space. Thank you, Robin, for joining us today on Startup Central.